Hello everybody, it's Marla. Welcome back to Twinstrology. Time for another reading. This is going to be a reading for the Twin Flame Collective for the month of April. And before I get started, I'm just going to clear the energy. It's a lot of clearing happening with people and some very funky energies going on. So just think about your twin for a moment, set the attention to get a message, and I am going to set the intention that I bring through the clearest, most accurate messages for the collective, and that only positive energy of love and light gets into this reading. Okay, I'm going to get right into it today. And we're going to start, of course, with what is coming in for twin flame unions from the higher realms. And the message that we have is union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. And that is clarified with the 9 of water. Your dreams come true. Wish fulfilled, love, satisfaction. Okay. So let's take a look at this card first. Union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. So we all know this, right? We all know that union is not a physical construct. So why would our higher self be bringing this to our attention right now? Well, there's something about this that is key to what is coming. As we head into the eclipses, remember the first eclipse is on April 30th. Second one is on May 15th, I believe. And what our higher self is wanting us to know right now is that this is actually the key to creating union. We have to move past the fear of the 3D reality. And I'm saying fear here because it's not about letting go of ever envisioning a 3D reality with your twin flame. If you've met your twin flame, chances are you're here to reunite in the physical with that person. But what we're needing to focus on right now is that the love already exists. Our guides are saying, don't focus on the lack of connection because, well, I'll be honest, right? It can become frustrating. And I see people get very frustrated when they feel a spiritual connection with someone and nothing is materializing in the 3D. And that messes with our vibration. Because even though the energetic connection is saying that this is real and that it's the most important part and this is what you need to focus on, when you don't see anything changing, what it's doing is it's creating like a head trip, right? And you think, well, this can't be real. This can't be coming true because it's been so long and nothing is happening. So I must be making this up. I must be making this spiritual energy up. And then you start to lose faith. So it's important not to lose faith at the moment and to focus on our vibration and where we are vibrationally at every moment at this time. Now, this is a double-edged sword here, this energy of union's not a physical construct, and I feel our union. Because, as I said, it can become frustrating. But on the positive side, when you feel the spiritual connection to your person, it can raise your vibration. If you're not allowing the frustration to come into it, and you're just, let's say you're just sitting there out of the blue and suddenly your mind turns to that person and maybe you feel their energy around you, that can open your heart for that moment. That can bring you a positive vibration. It can bring you gratitude. It brings you the energy of love. And that can be a blessing if we focus on the beauty of that spiritual connection and the fact that no matter what's happening in the 3D, that spiritual connection exists and it's beautiful and there's love there. That can raise our vibration. But, clearly the message here is that the universe is saying you're very close to something actually happening. You're very close to dreams becoming real. You're very close to love. So don't give up now. And there's a little bunny in my backyard right now. I didn't see him out here before until I started doing the reading. He's so cute. And it's Easter, so maybe this is a sign. Rabbits represent fertility, and they can represent new beginnings. So I think that's a sign. Also, they're my favorite animal too. So what's positive for twin flame unions is when I look into your eyes, I see the universe and it activates me. I'm hoping that this is in focus. Sorry, my camera does not have the best tripod. And it's being clarified with the 7 of Fire, worth fighting for. So what's positive is, first of all, there's a lot of activations happening and there will be activations this month. We just came through a huge solar flare, solar storm energy. I didn't post anything for a few days because I was just walloped by it. I was so exhausted and it was bringing up a lot of things for clearing, and personally I was clearing things and I know a lot of you were as well. And there's probably going to be some more of that this month because we need to clear out some of the old energies to make room for what's new. So yes, activations. And I want to say, guys, if you actually have the Intuit Twin Flame deck and you want to know more how to read it, like if you just watch my readings and pay attention to how I'm doing things, you might get more insight, because sometimes I see people using my cards and they're really just focusing on the message and they're just reading it and they're not looking any further than that. But there is a lot more guidance to be had. Like this card, for instance, also means like activations are coming in. Not necessarily when you're looking into each other's eyes, but there's an energy from the universe that's coming in and activating us. Although when you look into your person's eyes, that also brings an activation, even if you're just looking at their photograph. And even more, what I'm getting here is just that there's this universal energy at play right now. There's an energetic shift happening that is aligning twin flames right now. And this is what is positive for us. And the universe is saying with this 7 of Fire card, don't give up. It's worth fighting for. Now is not the time to give up because we're actually really close to some kind of breakthrough. And I've been doing this a long time, and I don't say these kinds of things lightly. I think about how I present things to the collective energy because I want to be honest and clear. But this message that something very important is ready to break through has been so consistent amongst the messages that I'm getting and the readings that I'm doing for people that I have to trust it. And the universe is telling us very clearly that we have to trust these messages right now because, especially for the divine feminine, well, no, I'm going to take that back because it's in play for both twins very strongly. Faith is very important. We're shifting into being the creators of our reality. But if we don't have faith that we can actually create our dreams and create the things we want, then what's the point of having the blessing of being able to create the very things that we want, right? That doesn't really make sense. But yeah, a lot of people have given up on this journey. And if you're still here and you still have faith in your journey and you still have faith that there is a higher plan that is somehow working this all out despite everything that we've all gone through, then kudos to you. You are going to be the ones that are ready when this energy comes in. What challenges twin flame unions? I feel your energy around me and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? Clarified with the 6 of fire. Well, look at this. Isn't this ironic? Unions and energy, not a physical construct. And what challenges us is, I feel your energy. And I see it all the time in people. They reject this energy. There's resistance to feeling your twin's energy, whether it's because you don't want to believe in the spiritual forces, you don't want to believe in the supernatural, or because you don't want to trust this because you've lost faith on that being real. Maybe you think you're crazy because when you felt that energy, nothing materializes, and so you've started to give up on that energy. A lot of people that I work with actually push this energy away, and I help people not do that. I understand a lot of times why people feel they have to do that, and there are points in our journey where we have to kind of disconnect from that energy a bit for our own sanity. When, we're going through a major trigger and it becomes overwhelming to feel this kind of connection, and yet in the 3D, like not only are things not happening, but you're getting slapped in the face by something that, for all logical appearances, is saying that connection is never going to happen. And it just becomes too much. It messes with the brain and you have to click it off. But it's not something that you want to do permanently. Because if you're resisting this energy, it's like you're resisting your higher self. You have to recognize that this energy is coming through your higher self. Yes, it's coming from your twin, but your higher self is behind it. There's a reason why that energy's there. There's a reason why it's happening. And if you resist it, then you're resisting what is. It's like if you try to resist the twin flame connection and you just say to yourself, well, I'm going to just forget about that. you can't do it because you can't maintain that level of resistance and be happy. And that just goes to show you that the energy is real. Now it's clarified with the 6 of fire, which is congratulations, victory, recognition, success, milestone. So the universe is saying, like, what you're actually resisting by doing this is you're resisting success. You're resisting going to your next level. And that's not going to put you in the vibration that you want to be in order to get this. And this, this is all connected. You can't really separate your union from abundance, from your spiritual journey. It's all connected. It's all one. If you're rejecting this, you're closing down your heart. And when you close down your heart, you're closing your heart down to your creative energy. And creative energy is not just artistic energy, but it's where your ideas come from. And you're closing your heart down to the spiritual realm. I mean, the most important part of this journey is to advance our ascension process. And if you're closing this down and you're closing your heart down, you're closing that spiritual gateway down. Let's pull a couple song messages here. These are just some of the songs I have here. There's about 300 songs here in this deck. My own homemade deck. So what's the overall message here for twin flame unions coming through in song? Okay, the message is Magic by Olivia Newton-John. Come take my hand. You should know me. I've always been in your mind. You know that I'll be kind. I'll be guiding you. Building your dream has to start now. There's no other road to take. You won't make a mistake. I'll be guiding you. You have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if all your hope survives, destiny will arrive. I'll bring all your dreams alive for you. Great song, very twin flamey. And this truly is a message from our higher self, because that line, you should know me. Yes, it is about your twin because you have traveled across time with your twin, but it's also your higher self. And your higher self is saying, too, I've always been in your mind. I am the one that's been leading you here. I'm the one that's been guiding you all along. As I said, your higher self is the one that allows the connection in, that is working with the universal energies to make your dream come true. There's this line, building your dream has to start now. There's no other road to take, which is telling us, like, there's no other choice right now. This is what we have to do. And it's something that has to do with the ascension energies, and truly what we've been waiting for is the right frequency, the right ascension energies. And when we get caught up in believing that we're not in union because our twin flame is a fuck up, that couldn't be further from the truth. The reason why you're not in union is because there's something in the vibration that you're still waiting for and you have to be patient with. And that's part of this song. But you won't make a mistake. I'm guiding you. That draw to your twin, that resonance with your twin, that is there for a reason. That's to help guide you, to help you tune into your higher self. We have to believe right now, it's not a time to go into fear or distrust. What's positive in twin flame unions? Okay, a message by Coldplay. My song is love. My song is love unknown, but I'm on fire for you clearly. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be on your own. And I'm not going to take it back. And I'm not going to say that I don't mean that. You're the target I'm aiming at, and I'm nothing on my own. And I've got to get that message home. And I'm not going to stand and wait. And I'm not going to leave it until it's much too late. On a platform, I'm going to stand and say that I'm nothing on my own, and I love you. Please come home. So there's a message here that goes with this fight for it. That is telling twins that they have to fight for something here. That's in this message. I'm not going to stand and just wait. I'm not going to leave it until it's too late. No, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say that I love you. Please come home. So there has to be this, what I want to say is there's an activation that's going to happen, that's going to tell you it's time to take action. And I've been telling you guys this for a while, that we've been clearing a lot of distrust because there's going to come a time in our journey where our higher self just says, okay guys, this is it. Move, do it. Don't be afraid. And we're going to need to do it. That's what we've all been working on. And you might be working on some of these things very intensely right now through challenge, like getting activated to do something that you know is a risk, or that you know you might get negative vibrations from other people, or something that you're just afraid to do. Okay, the message about what challenges us as twins is Love Hurts by Incubus. And hey guys, I'm gonna post the links to these songs down below. And the reason I've been channeling these songs like this is because it's coming through from my guides that listening to high vibrational music, and the key word there is high vibrational, meaning you don't want to listen to really sad songs that are just going to bring you down, can be very healing to us, especially now. So this song, Love Hurts, this is interesting because the title is Love Hurts, but listen to the lyrics rather. Tonight we drink to youth and holding fast to truth. I don't want to lose what I had as a boy. My heart still has a beat, but love is now a feat as common as a cold day in LA. Sometimes when I'm alone, I wonder, is there a spell that I'm under, keeping me from seeing the real thing? Love hurts, but sometimes it's a good hurt, and it feels like I'm alive. Love sings when it transcends the bad things. Have a heart and try me, 'cause without love, I won't survive. So it really clearly goes with these cards, right? Love does hurt, but also it is a good hurt. Imagine if you didn't have love in your life. Imagine how boring your life would be. In fact, I bet a lot of us don't have to imagine it because a lot of us have experienced times where we haven't had love in our life. And we know that that sucks. And yeah, sometimes love, even when it hurts, lets us know that we're alive. And it lets us know that there is something to be joyful for. And that we can transcend negativity through the vibration of love. But when we're rejecting this, you know, as I already talked about, we're saying no to love. But you need love. Okay, let's talk about the Divine Feminine. What is the divine feminine energy healing right now? Hopefully you can see that and there's not too much shadow. You think I'm not listening to you, but I am. I hear everything you say and even replay our conversations in my head. So, and that's clarified with the star, which is wish granted once again, faith, inspiration, healing, hope. So I feel like this card is really saying, first of all, on one level, it's like you're thinking, if you're the divine feminine or the divine feminine part of us, is saying, higher self, universe, I don't think you're listening to me because I've been asking for this a lot and nothing's happening. That's one layer of it. But the universe has been waiting for certain energies, unfortunately. And it's been waiting for this shift to happen. And it's been waiting for you to align to, oh, okay, I see. It's been waiting for you to heal enough to actually align with this energy. And the star card and this card is like the star card. But the healing that you've gone through, you're so close. You're so close to a major breakthrough. But this also goes with your twin, because you think your twin isn't listening to you. And your twin actually is. They may not be showing it to you. They might not be telling you, but they actually hear everything you say. And they think a lot about the conversations that you've had. And I bet a lot of those conversations have to do with things that you've told them that relate to the awakening process, or things that you've told them about the connection. And they've been thinking a lot about that. But from your perspective, all you're seeing is this person doesn't care. This person is off living their life. For some of you, they're not even speaking to you. And so that leaves you just thinking, well, I guess they don't care. But that is not the truth. And this is messing with your head, and it's trying to stop you from having faith. And it's those two levels. It's like not seeing the energy from your twin, but also feeling like maybe my higher self isn't listening. Maybe God is not listening because my prayers have not been answered. But again, the universe is saying right now you have to have faith and not give up. How this is showing up for the divine feminine and their reality. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our reunion. Well, I don't think I need to say too much about this. You know, what's key here is going back to the healing process and what we spoke about here. Like, you had to reach a certain level in your healing in order to trigger this shift in you, and the shift in all of us is creating the shift in the energy of the universe. It's all connected because we're all one. But I feel like we're close to creating the perfect conditions now. But yes, we have had to wait. That's clarified with, it was this way, the Death card, which is about clearing that old energy, doing the healing, external change, major changes, endings, beginnings, renewal, done. You know, this phase had to be complete, and it's the phase. Okay, sorry, my camera went off. It's the phase that I wrote about, which is shifting out of being stuck in the karmic loop and moving into free will choice. That's really what's driving this change. How this is transforming the energy for the feminine energy. I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge this situation instead of surrendering to it. And that's clarified with the 5 of Cups reversed, which is overcoming despair, forgiveness, accepting change, letting go, healing. So look at the image here. Here's this woman, she feels alone. And the man is back here holding his head. And I think this picture really sums up how a lot of people, a lot of divine feminines feel on the journey. And of course, you don't have to be a woman to be a divine feminine, but because it's like, you know, she's got this rose and it's like I'm holding on to this love, but I'm still alone. And my twin, and again, this is like what you're feeling, thinking. This is not necessarily the truth. But there's my twin over there, and my twin is holding his head in his hands, and he's just resisting this. He's rejecting this whole thing. And it feels like your person is turning their back on you. But what this card is saying is you can't judge it, right? Because the judgment of what's happening in this picture is all just coming from a perspective, an inner perspective. It's not really truth. And a lot of times you're kept away from your twin in order to begin to understand this, to overcome your projections, to overcome this thinking that, you know, it's your belief of what's happening based on previous patterns. And the truth is you have to drop those patterns. So the bottom line is, the universe is saying you can't judge this book by the cover. And the reason why is because you've had to develop the utmost faith. Because in order for you to become the high priest or high priest energy that you said you would become, you need to learn how to let go of the illusion that is created by your ego self. And that's what this card is about, right? The 5 of Cups. It's about having despair when there's reason to have faith. Remember, there's traditionally the 3 cups are knocked down, but there's 2 cups still standing. And you've got to have faith in those 2 cups. So, for the feminine energy, the main focus right now is having faith, and a lot of you are going to be going through a clearing, if you haven't already, with the last round of solar storms to help you regain your faith. And, you know, the guides are definitely sensitive to what you've been through. Some of you have been on this journey for 20 years. And it's like, you know, you're saying to your higher self, look, I've had faith. I had faith for a long time, but it's hard to keep having faith when I'm not seeing things happening. But what they really want you to focus on is you have seen things happening because you have changed a great deal, haven't you? You have probably changed your whole life for many of you. And are you happier now that you made the changes in your life, or are you worse off? I bet 99% of you would say that you're happier now, and that you have more power and you have more control in your own life, and you've healed a lot of your wounds, and you've overcome a lot of your fears, and that's made you more secure and happier, and you're transitioning to doing work that you love. And you're doing all of that because you're on the twin flame journey. And isn't that something to be grateful for? And isn't that something to help you trust? Now, I realize today that I spend a lot of time talking about the challenges here because, you know, ultimately that is what we have to heal. But I wanted to change it up. So I asked the universe what we were doing really, really good at. And for the feminine, what we're really succeeding at is surrender. Surrender brings us together faster than resistance. Again, I hope you can see that. And it's focusing. And, you know, obviously this part about having faith and this judgment card is we're surrendering. There has to be a balance though. Like, you don't want to go into surrender with the attitude of the hell with it. I'm just gonna ditch that person. I'm just gonna cut cords with that person and forget this whole journey. That's not the type of surrender that they're talking about here. The surrender really comes from having faith in the journey and the faith in your spiritual growth and spiritual power. This is being clarified with the Ace of Swords. Insight and awareness, epiphany, clarity, truth, vision, compelling, focus, communicate. So there is a compelling force here. That's all this vibration that you feel. That is part of the compelling force. One of my cards in the deck, and something I've always talked about, is you really don't have to worry about creating union, because the energy that you share with that person is going to bring you back together in divine timing, right? The energy doesn't lie, and you cannot resist the energy forever. Let's pull a song here for what's happening with the divine feminine. Okay, the song is Let Your Soul Be Your Pilot by Sting. When you're down and they're counting, when your secrets are all found out, when your troubles take to mounting, when the map you have leads you to doubt, when there's no information and the compass turns to nowhere that you know well, let your soul be your pilot. Let your soul guide you. He'll guide you well. When the doctors fail to heal you, when no medicine chest can make you well, when no counsel leads to comfort, when there are no more lies they can tell, no more useless information, and the compass spins. Sorry, I can't read the last line here. And the compass, I have to flip it over. And the compass spins between heaven and hell. Let your soul be your pilot. Let your soul guide you. Well, I think that song says it all, doesn't it? You have to have faith that it really is your soul guiding you. And believe me, there will be people that will tell you not to listen to that. And you want to not listen to those people. Let's pull an angel card for the divine feminine healing. That one came flying out. Rick Bael, ruler of the divine chariot and the four winds. Storm, tempest, hurricane, and gale. Those are the four winds. Movement, dynamic action, coordination, teleportation. Proud, fights chaos and wins. I shelter you from storms and show you how to utilize your Merkaba to become a chariot of the divine power. And Rick Bael's message is go. And the timing is full moon. The crystal is smoky quartz. Okay, so you are moving forward, Divine Feminine. You may not see this right now, but you are moving forward. And Merkaba is something that's been coming to me a lot recently. We use our Merkaba to travel multidimensionally, and our multidimensionality is certainly getting stronger. Therefore, our Merkabas are getting stronger. But yeah, it's time to go. It's time to move on. And the full moon. Well, we have a full moon in Libra happening on the 16th of April, and we have a full moon solar eclipse in Scorpio on May 15th or 16th. Can't remember exact date. What's happening with the Divine Masculine? What the Divine Masculine is healing is I'm afraid you're going to meet someone else before I'm ready to be with you. So the masculine, there's a couple things I'm getting here. Well, first of all, I feel like the masculine themselves are frustrated at the lack of action. And that leads me to believe that there's more to it than just their inability to take action. As I said, there's this universal energy that we've all been waiting on. And I feel like the masculine in particular, as I said in my last video, has been waiting for this energy to shift because they want to move forward too. And something that triggers them is the thought that they won't be able to come forward in time, and it's going to be too late, and you will have already moved on. Like I said, some people have moved on. Some people have given up, and they've chosen to go with soulmates. But whether that will stand the test of time if their twin comes back is yet to be seen. But there's this underlying fear there from them that I also feel is like connected to the divine timing thing. And this is clarified with the 10 of Earth, family legacy, security, domestic obligations, handed down, patriarchy, image. So there's a couple of things here when we add the element of this card. And it's going to depend on, what is holding your twin back. Like I feel the 10 of Pentacles, family legacy, is what has been keeping them from actually taking action. So for some of them, it's going to be a childhood wound. Well, really everything stems from childhood wounding. But for some, that is really key. For others, there's a third-party relationship. For others, there's children involved. For others, there might be parents involved. There might be like family templates, like cultural things, for example. Maybe your parents want to choose your partner and they want to arrange a marriage for you, or they did arrange a marriage for you, or maybe your family doesn't like your partner. Like there's all these kinds of things, but it really goes back to some kind of template that's there, some kind of programming around family or from family that has kind of immobilized the divine masculine and held them back for a long time. And that is becoming very active, and it's going to be activated by the eclipses coming up. In my last video, that's the astrological energy for April, I talked about the Sabian symbols and Chiron being on the symbol a bomb which has been safely hidden from view fails to go off. But I was saying that the eclipses are actually going to bring some kind of bomb. And it's going to be related to whatever this is for your own situation. Whatever makes you feel like you're being held back. And it's interesting, this picture. I've never noticed it before, but this man is by a car. So he's really, in a way, the car is saying, you're not held back. You can get in this car and move forward. But for some reason, they're not taking that. And again, it's not because your person is just a jerk. Well, maybe for some of you, but no, I'm kidding. But it has to do with waiting for the energies to all align and activate these things to come up. Our healing journey, yes, it is brought about by ourselves, but also the universe activates certain things within us at certain times so that we can clear it. And there's a reason, there's a philosophy. And if you pay attention, you'll realize that we truly are a collective, and we're generally clearing things as a collective. And you may feel like you're alone with things at time, but if you have friends that are twins and you talk to them a lot, then you're going to realize, oh, that person's clearing that too, and that person's clearing that too. And that right there is a dead giveaway that it's something about the universe that's happening and not just your own personal journey. How this is showing up for the divine masculine. I can't validate our love in 3D until I understand our spiritual love in 5D. Give me time to explore this aspect so I can be a strong spiritual partner for you. And that is clarified with the Magician reversed, Inception, the pre-manifest, plan, establish a clear vision, thoughts become things. Whew, let me process this one. Okay, so part of the divine masculine's growth cycle that is preparing them for union is understanding the spiritual realm. For very many of the divine masculine, they tend to be more grounded, more logical, and they struggle a bit more with some of the spiritual ideas. And again, I'm clearly generalizing here. And I don't mean that about everyone, or we could also say that the masculine energy sometimes has an equal spiritual understanding, but it manifests through them in a different way than it does for the feminine energy. But clearly there's something that the masculine is needing to learn. And what I feel about the masculine is they need to take their power back. This is what they've been waiting for. I think in the last reading I did, like what they were healing was other people are controlling me and I don't like it. What that card was telling us is that the masculine was letting other people take their power. And it might be their spouse for many of them. It might be their parents. It might be their children. It might be their cultural situations. And what is going to show up is they have to face whatever that thing is, whatever that they felt was controlling them. They have to take their power back. And they're only going to do that when they understand the connection to their higher self, when they understand why this connection is, what their purpose is. And in order to manifest this, they have to be in their own power. They are the magicians, the masculine. But if they don't understand themselves as the magician, if they don't visualize themselves as the magician, then they're not using their power. So this is telling us that there's some kind of inception happening within the divine masculine that makes them understand their power, and it makes them understand the bigger plan. And suddenly they're becoming more empowered, and they're understanding their own power. I mean, how this works is, it's really like the masculine has to take the action. And there is a time, usually earlier on in the connection, where the feminine has to take an action towards the masculine, where they verbalize that they think there's a connection between them. And when they verbalize that, then that activates something within the masculine to begin to start seeing the connection differently, even though the masculine may not actually recognize what they're saying at the time. But then, after the feminine activates them that way, then it's really up to the masculine energy to take the final action towards union. And if we look at the roles of the feminine and masculine energy, the feminine is the void. The feminine is the dream. The feminine is the idea and it's where the idea gestates within the feminine. But that idea and the feminine never actually materializes until the masculine steps in and takes action to actually create it. That's why the masculine energy is the magician, because they have the role of actually manifesting it. Now, I'm talking about it as like two separate people, but in reality, we do this every time we manifest something. We have an internal masculine and feminine, and that's why it's always been important to balance that within yourself, because when they are balanced, then you're able to take your own ideas that come from your feminine and gestate them until your masculine is prepared to take action to actually make that manifested in the world. So yes, we do it ourselves, but in this case, in the twin flame dynamic, because you are kind of an externalization of this masculine, feminine, really nothing is an externalization of ourself, but I don't want to spend all night philosophizing, even though I've already spent an hour doing that. But suffice it to say, part of why the feminine has to surrender is because for most of the feminine, they're in a position of you can't do anything else. And the masculine has somehow put you in a position where it's I can't do anything here. I gotta just surrender and let it go. And that is all by design, because that that has to fall on the masculine shoulders to be the one to come forward and manifest it. So this magician upside down is saying to the masculine, look, you've got to establish a clear vision because your thoughts are becoming reality. So you have to understand that what you're thinking takes form. You've got to create this plan, and you've got to implement a plan now. That goes back to that card, magic, right? There's no other road to take now. You got to build your dream. You have no other choice. How this is showing, or how this is transforming the masculine energy. Past lives are influencing our connection. I've lost you in other lifetimes, and that makes me afraid. I need to heal the grief to allow the love to bloom. So there are old karmic timelines still at play here. Well, again, you know, what came through my channeling was that we don't have to live in the karma anymore, but a lot of the karmic scenarios and the idea of karma itself is a belief system now. So what's happened is the masculine is wounded from past lives where you either died or you were separated somehow. And they actually have closed off their hearts a lot because of this energy. You know, I was talking to a divine masculine a couple weeks ago, and they were saying to me, like, well, after, you know, this girl that I really loved, she was my one true love, and when she broke up with me, I just put layer over layer over layer over my heart. And, you know, since then, that person has never found the one. But maybe it's because there's layer over layer over layer over his heart right now. But I feel that speaks a lot to the masculine energy. They're also afraid to trust and to open their heart to the feminine because of this. And there's another piece of this as well, and all of these cards, which relates to how the masculine sees themselves. And there's some healing that needs to happen within how they're viewing themselves. And perhaps they have low self-esteem, or they've had some relationships. A lot of the masculine energy have had some doozy relationships that have been pretty abusive and harmful to their self-esteem and psyche. Of course, that's true for the feminine as well. So the other card that was clarifying this is Five of Air, not by the rules. But what I'm picking up here is the words defeat, hostility, self-sacrificing, abusive. You know, and that's what I was just talking about. It's like they're very critical of themselves, and they've been very self-sacrificing because of this energy, this 10 of Pentacles energy, which is that family or cultural wound. So this is where the energy is shifting. They're letting something go there. What the divine masculine is doing very, very well at this time is it amazes me when we say the same things at the same time or finish each other's sentences. So what this card represents to me often is there's an alignment happening between the twins. Because when you start saying the same thing at the same time and you're finishing each other's sentences, that's showing that your energy is aligned with each other. There's that telepathic connection where your minds are so aligned that you're thinking exactly alike. And Yeah, I mean, there's a spiritual component to this too, because it's like a synchronicity. And when that happens, like, you have to recognize, even if you can't recognize the telepathy, then at least you have to go, whoa, we must really be aligned with each other. We must really like the same things if we're always coming up with the same thing at the same time. This is clarified with, this way, messenger of fire, powerhouse of energy, lovable, exciting plans, good news, energetic, playful, childlike, free thinker. Well, this is what I mean. There's like an energy shifting in the masculine. Their energy is getting much more powerful than it has been in the past, because they are actually breaking free of a lot. A lot of them are they've been growing a lot, and they're more in tune with their higher self. That's activating that magician energy. Let's see what song is for the masculine. The song is Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan. I've been waiting for you, it's been so long. I knew just what I would do when I heard your song. You filled my heart with a kiss. You gave me freedom, you knew I could not resist. I needed someone, and now we're flying through the stars. I hope this night will last forever. Ain't nobody loves me better, makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better than you. I wait for nighttime to come to bring you to me. I can't believe I'm the one. I was so lonely. I feel like no one could feel. I must be dreaming. I want this dream to be real. I make my wish upon a star and hope this night will last forever. So the biggest thing that I get from this song is that it's actually the fact that those of you that have not given up, that you have stood by your twin for so long, and they actually recognize that. They recognize that even though, you know, they might have treated you harshly, for some of you that might be putting it mildly, but despite all that, they still see you there. They still see you trying. They still see you loving them. And it's almost like they can't believe that someone would have that much love for them, because they've never experienced love like that before. And I think that's true, like even in families, you know, when well, I want to refer to men, but of course you don't have to be a man. But when you reach a certain age, even it's almost like your parents even stop giving you so much emotional love, and it tends to be more like, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe you know what I mean, but yeah, they have not experienced that. They definitely have not experienced that with their prior relationships. And so it's a bit shocking and amazing. And you may think that that person doesn't recognize that you have actually stood by them for so long and believed in them. But they do actually recognize that. Whoops. Okay, the angel message for the masculine about their healing is Seraphiel, Archangel of Resurrection. Fire of purification, holiness, truth and love, increases faith, overcoming addictions. I burn up blocks to ascension and help turn the energy of negative emotion into productive action that you can take. Okay, very interesting. So Raphael is here to say that what's happening is that certain blocks that the masculine have struggled to release around the ascension process are being burned away in the fires of purification. It's increasing their faith. It's bringing in more truth and love, and it's helping them turn negative emotions, meaning, you know, whether it's their fears or something that they're not seeing about themselves in a positive way. And they're helping the masculine transform that into action, right? And that's what the masculine needs to do in order to activate that magician energy. In order to actually create the manifestation, they need action. So, yeah, that's a very good confirmation from the cards for what I said. And the angels are saying, ask for help. So don't be afraid to actually reach out to the angels, and it's going to happen very soon. Number 44 as well. Let's just pull a couple quick messages. What does the divine feminine want to say to the masculine? Okay, there's a lesson to be learned from this. Okay, I think that's what we all need to understand. There has been a lesson and a reason for everything. I'm changing this pattern and moving forward. So we have to assume that it's the pattern of not trusting the situation, because that's the problem that is being focused on at this time. I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fears so I can come back to you. Yeah. The divine feminine, you know, they've been persevering through a lot. And they've been trying to process all their fears in order to actually manifest this union. And you have all done an amazing job, I must say. What song would the feminine send to the masculine? All right, well, I'm going to take, there's two, but I'm going to take the top one, which happens to be a Beatles song, which I found out through my most recent post that a lot of you have been resonating and connecting with the Beatles and with John Lennon. And the song is Till There Was You. There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. There was music and wonderful roses. They tell me in a sweet, fragrant meadow of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it till there was you. So, yeah, beautiful message that the feminine saying to the masculine, you really have awoken me to love on so many different levels. And, something that I've said before is your life before a twin is like in black and white, and your life after your twin is in Technicolor. And that's kind of what that song reminds me of. What does the masculine want to say to the feminine? Because of you, I'm starting to see what's really important in life. And that goes back to this, I feel. Getting rid of that programming, because they're starting to see that programming is not really what's important. What's important is love. True love. Because everything in your life, when you have true love in your life, everything blossoms, and the people around you blossom. It doesn't just affect the twins, but everything blossoms. That's why we're here. We project our patterns onto each other, and this makes it difficult to see what is real and fear-based thinking. So In this instance, I feel like the message from the masculine is that sometimes they have trouble knowing what is real. You know, as I said, a lot of them been very grounded at times. And it's hard for them to trust as well. But they're doing a lot of conquering of that as well, and really trusting the inner messages that they're getting more and more. No. My heart is with another right now. I have to finish this karmic contract in order to be free. Yeah, so yeah, confirmation that a lot of you are dealing with third-party situations. But if it's not a person, it can still be something that is taking this person away, whether it's their family or their work or something in their belief systems. But this karmic contracts in after this 22222 portal, you know, their days are numbered. And my spirit guide started telling me that all the way back on January 1st. Because they're getting like the intensity of those relationships is just growing, and it's not a good intensity. It's becoming more of a negative and more challenging to stay in that energy. So the song that the masculine would like to send to the feminine is Nothing Compares to You by Prince. You also may know this by Sinead O'Connor, but Prince actually wrote this song. It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant. But nothing, I said, nothing can take away these blues, 'cause nothing compares to you. Okay, so, you know, a lot of the masculine, I think, wanted freedom on some level from the feminine. They thought the grass would be greener on the other side, and they thought that they could just turn their back on the connection, whether it's because the connection wasn't logical, or the connection didn't fit in with their plan, or it was creating too much fear, there was too much mirroring going on, and they ran away. But they thought they could just turn their back on it and pretend like it didn't exist. But, you know, according to this song, it's like, yeah, I have all the freedom I want. I can do anything I want, or I can do nothing. I can, you know, go out to eat. I can see anybody I want, but nothing is satisfying me, because I've discovered that what I really want is you. Okay, so what's coming up in the future for twin flames? What is being activated through April and bringing us into May? The first card is Love Like Ours Can Change the World, and that's clarified with the Tower. Powerful force. Okay, I've got chills on that, guys, because it's like, you know, this has to do with the planetary change that's coming in, because it's time now. We've reached a certain point in the ascension process where more twins can actually begin to come together and need to come together, because there's like a power surge. And I'm getting that this power surge, and that's really going to happen at the eclipses, because eclipses create a power surge. They are 4 times more powerful than a normal full moon or new moon. And this is also getting, the eclipses will be activated by Saturn as well. And Saturn's in Aquarius. That's the sign of electricity and that power surge. And the first eclipse in Taurus is going to be conjunct Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, which rules electricity. So, I'm just looking at this card and there's all this lightning around and it's called Power Surge. And wow, we better get ourselves prepared, guys, because there is some kind of energetic force. And because it's with this card talking about global change, we see the earth in the background. This card to me really represents like the world in the tarot. And it goes with what the masculine said about, I'm starting to see what's important, because they're starting to see that the earth really needs change. And we are bringing that change. But yeah, some kind of shocking change is going to happen, some kind of energy surge, destruction, revelation, upheaval, divorce, sudden chaos. Again, I mentioned that Chiron being on a bomb, and that's this energy, this kind of something is going to come out of the blue. There's going to be something that just happens that we're not expecting, that is going to create a strong force for change in our life. And it's gonna free us, because the tower frees us. And we're all, we see the card, the tower, and it makes us all very frightened. But we have to remember that the purpose of the tower is to free us from our limitations. And remember I said, like, we have walls over our heart because we're not trusting the energy. And this is like those walls are coming down. They're coming down with a force. Next card about the future. We are coming into union. 11-11. And look at this. This is an 11 too. Chills on this as well. Something is shifting. Now, does it necessarily translate that union is going to immediately happen the day of the eclipse? No. But obviously, something very powerful is going to be set in motion, and it's creating a big change. Now, this is clarified with the 10 of Swords reversed. Rejuvenate, accepting the outcome. The first key words are regeneration of a relationship, make a comeback, reconcile, over it, repair, moving on. Which is, this 10 of Swords reversed is like it's like a little death card. It's like heartbreak, being stabbed in the back. So when it's reversed, it's telling us that we're healing and we're moving on from the pain. And we're moving on to something positive and, possibly union. This is the sign of Gemini. I think that's Gemini. Gemini and Pisces can look very similar. Yeah. But it looks like an 11 to me too. So wow, guys, on that. The third card is I can't fully be there for you as long as this other person is in my life. I know it's hard for you, but I have to go through the experience in order to heal it. And that's clarified with the Hierophant. Religious tradition, convention, conformity, values, institutions, programming, marriage, faith. So, the first thing we can say about the Hierophant is it could be bringing in faith for us. But seeing as it's with this card about third-party relationships and this, it's like the masculine, and it could be the feminine. I'm not just saying the masculine are still with a third party, because there's a lot of feminines too. But like I said earlier, third-party contracts, they're on borrowed time right now. And something major is going to be happening with those relationships, because if this is you and you're in the third party, like, you are done. Like, this man is not looking at her Well, I could say they're not looking at each other and they don't really look like they're happy with each other, right? So it's like that's done. And this card is saying like marriage, programming. So if your person is not in a marriage, or if you're not in a marriage but you feel like this is relating to something in your life, then it's programming. And it's very possible that this could be referring to all of us, in that all of us are being held back by something. And if it's not a third party, then it's our own thoughts, our own lack of faith, our own inability to be a nonconformist. If you're here as a twin and you're a light worker, then you're here to be a nonconformist, not just go along with what society tells you to do. So I have the feeling like this is what's connected to the Tower and creating this union. And this is exactly how the cards came out, with union in the middle. I kind of wish I had filmed myself dealing the cards, but honestly guys, it takes so long for me to deal because I wait till cards jump out, and when these files get really big like this, it's hard for me to process them. I don't, I need to upgrade my technology. Anyways, give us a song about the future, please, Spirit. Please give us a song about the future for Twin Flames. What can we look to resonate with? Okay, the card is a song called Two Wrongs by a band, I think it's actually one guy, called Ipso Facto. And the lyrics are this: I know it's sad, thinking about it hurts me every night. I know what I did wasn't right, but you got me back. You said something and I told you some lies, but I know two wrongs don't make a right. I know two wrongs don't make a right. I feel like walking away, so they keep telling me I need to stay. We should embrace, you and I, 'cause love ain't no eye for an eye. We should not be falling out of love. We should fight for what is right for us. I know it's sad, thinking about it hurts me every night. Wow, I'm kind of surprised that this song came out, but I love it, right? Because it's saying, love is not an eye for an eye. Yes, shit's gone down. What does it say in the song here? Yeah, I know what I did wasn't right, but hey, you got me back. You said something, and so I told you some lies. Isn't this like the old template of relationships that we've all been in? And our connection with our twin, especially when it first happens, it was in that old energy, that old back and forth. And it's an energy of, I gotta protect myself. I've gotta protect myself from being vulnerable. So when someone hurts me, I wanna hurt them back. But love is not an eye for an eye. I said that in my last reading, right? We have to let go of the energy of retribution now. Because if we keep playing that game of retribution, not wanting to be vulnerable, no one's ever getting anywhere. Nothing's ever going to change. The world is never going to change. Relationship templates are never going to change. So it's time for us to be the ones to let go of everything that happened in the past and acknowledge, you hurt me, but yes, I probably hurt you too. We did some wrongs to each other, and we did that because we didn't know any better. And can we just forgive the past, and can we move on? This is really like walking over that rainbow bridge, right? We can walk over the bridge together, and we can leave the old energy, and we can leave the past behind, and we can choose something new. We can choose to start over again. So let's draw an angel card for the future. Danielle, protector of infants and children. youthful, birth of a child, contagious joy, zest for life, lightness of being, wonder. When you feel weighed down by life or heavy emotions, I can help you reconnect to the wonder and joy of life. Wow, I'm so glad I pulled this because this is exactly what we've been talking about, right? We've all been on this journey. We've all gone through a lot of stuff. We've all gone through a lot of stuff with our twins that have left us with heavy hearts. And really not just our twins, but, you know, a lot of old relationships, a lot of past life stuff. We are carrying a lot of heavy emotions. But we do not have to disconnect from the wonder and joy of life. We have to reawaken this wonder and joy, and we have to do it now. We have to allow the new. Now the message from Danielle is yes. Yes, go for it. Take a risk. Move. And when I say move, I just mean take action. Don't be afraid. Take your next step. Be lighthearted. Be playful. And the timing is weeks. But yeah, really, I think focusing on lightness of being at this time. So wow, I hope you enjoyed that reading, guys. Hope it was worth the wait. I know it's another long one, but I think it was full of a lot of good information. So I'm not going to apologize for it being long. Yeah. My website is Twinstrology if you would like a personal reading. I am completely booked for April and starting to book up the beginning of May too. So just keep that in mind. I also want to remind you guys about the Intuit affiliate program. So if you're using the Twin Flame Oracle or the Intuit Normal Oracle, or this is the Intuit Tarot deck, which is actually the Intuit Tarot is in the process of being put through a second edition, and that's going to be kickstartering soon, and that's gonna look like even more amazing. But if you're a tarot reader and you use any of the Intuit decks, you can sign up to be an affiliate, get your own link, and you can make a percentage off any decks that are sold through you. If you liked the cards I'm using, the Twin Flame Intuit Oracle, or any of the other Intuit decks, this is the Intuit Angel Oracle, and the Tarot or the other deck I used. There is a 10% discounted link below. So you can get another 10% off. And the Intuit Twin Flame Oracle is on sale right now as well. So you'd get an additional 10% off of that. So thank you guys so much. Sending you all so much love. And I will be back soon with more Twin Flame messages. Namaste.